Ladies and gentlemen, karibuni sana. Welcome to Shairi podcast. I am your host JJ, and today I have some goodies for you. I promised you I would stop using the word goodies, but guys, it's here to stay. Deal with it. We have the Shairi merchandise. A lot of you guys have been asking me because after the performance at the museum, I had an Shairi branded t-shirt, and people are like, JJ, that's so cool. I need me one of those. Well, they're finally here, guys. Pre-order on Array Records, DM us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we will get in touch with you. They come in black and white. For now, you can only get them in black and white, but we're definitely going to get more colors in the future. I can guarantee you the quality is 100%, guys. You know, your girl got you. I got you, yeah? Today, we are joined by a very good friend of mine. So if you don't know cool people, yeah, this is where it starts. Just drop your handle in the comments and he'll be like, yo, I heard you're looking for a cool friend. He goes by the name Poeta Dennis, and I just had to hear everything and anything there is to this amazing poet. Karibu sana to the Shairi podcast, Poeta.
I'm not a drug addict, but I'm a rasta man who takes weed and the shamba yako iwe clean.
Skrrr, hey, Karibu, and that is how we are starting off today. I like starting with people's names, yeah? So, how did you choose to go by Poeta Dennis? Because I know there's a kashuja somewhere in the background.
Actually, nowadays I don't go with the Dennis, but since Facebook, social media, you have to give two names. That's where the Dennis comes in. But I like Poeta because I am an artist, all-round artist.
Yes.
You cut me and my blood
flows art.
Yeah, and it flows Poeta. So, Poeta. I came up with the name because it's like a journey. It's attached to a journey.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I was doing the memory verse, the choral verses, and all that, and I wasn't even knowing that what I'm doing is
poetry. Yes.
It was actually leading me to my kind of what I was going to do in the future. So I was like, hey, okay. I started rapping.
Yeah.
And the first name I gave myself as a rapper was R.I.P.
R.I.P. Okay.
Nilikuwa naingia stage even like, bro.
That's like, a bit morbid.
Some dead bars or words.
Yeah.
Nilikuwa na hiyo identification process, sikuwa na identity like unataka kuwa nani. Each and every time I was giving myself names which were ilikuwa inagongana akili. Kupatia jina inaenda.
It doesn't match.
Yani ilikuwa tu inagongana akili kila time. So I was like, sawa, I want to have an identity. And I want to talk about poetry and my journey.
Yeah.
So let me call myself Poeta.
Poeta.
So I came Poeta. And your time pia kuna wase walikuwa na come up. And then they also called themselves Poeta. So we had a lot of poetas in the house. So everyone was competing for the throne.
Yeah.
And I had to stand out. So I went hard. I went hard, and I maintained the brand.
Yeah.
So basically now there's no other Poeta.
Yeah. So technically you're the original Poeta currently.
The original.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk about your poetry journey. For most of us who don't know where you started off, we know you from DyverseCity, all these random poetry shows here and there. Where did you start poetry?
Poetry started 2013. In 2013, I started off poetry and nilikuwa na spit bars za kizungu. I was targeting the corporate. Nilikuwa na an organization called the Slum Code Group. And you were basically dealing with corporate people and all that. So
you started it for commercial reasons?
Yeah.
Okay, to make money. Yeah,
I was tailored. I was tailored to do the commercial thing. Lazima ongea kizungu jukola sona kampale. Haizi kanishasha unajua. So I started that and okay, kuna vile sikuwa nimeimari before. Kwa sasa kizungu pia unajua ile environment huko. Tuna spit yani ziko parallel.
Zinagongana ama zinapatana?
Zinagongana zikipatana.
Okay.
So ukienda show zinapatana. Kama uko show yenyewe inakuwa tu ngumu because wase unaongea nao basically unaongea mostly shame. So it started off evil and then it was going on good and then ikapatana sana poets. Sikuwa najua watu kuna poets, nilikuwa tunaona kwa social media.
Yeah.
And then now I was introduced to Rick's Poet. Who is my mentor in poetry.
Shout out Rix.
Shout out to Rix.
Hi. Yeah.
On a birthday jana. We did an audition in Makini School.
Yeah.
And ilikuwa nimeenda hapo na confidence ile I have to impress my mentor. Nilifika pale and spit like a verse. Ikagonga mwamba. What?
Oh no! In front of the one person who matters.
He was the judge and I was like, okay, sawa. hii jani na wachana. And the people who came wale nilikuwa nafikiria sana kama amateur. They came, did their best.
Spitfire.
Mimi naacha poetry. So I left poetry and nikarudi home. I went back home and then there was a big mirror in our house. And I was looking at it and nasema hebu acha nijaribu could do something.
Yeah.
And I really like rehearse each and every time and I became better at it. Ile day nilirudi stage.
So it was not the same person.
Wewe unajua tulichafua kuchafua. So my journey has been on and off because ilifika point pia where we were now seeking, what do I say? Our niche.
Okay.
Because
it's like trying to find your sound.
Yeah, we were trying to find our sound. And poetry that time was tulikuwa tumeka poetry, kuna poetry ya Islando and then there was Uptown. So si tungekam na sheng yetu, kuna time tulikuwa tuna speed sheng mpaka namba buda
relax.
Relax mwanzo. Peleke
kuja sana.
Mnaongea kuhusu getari tunaogopa. So we will like speed bars hadi mseko wa crowd and is like you guys are dangerous, So tulikuwa actually nilikuwa nayo shida ile zenye unafikiria sasa kunaenda aje. Should you change your identity and all that? And through that we maintained and I teamed up with my friend the Shatlia. We formed the Mentalist Poets and we were just dropping crazy bars
without changing yourself. I love that part.
Tulikuwa tuna go hard without changing because at time kuna msadi kama kaniambia kwa stage after nimetoka stage. She was like usiseme kule unatoka. Just spit bars. Sema kule unatoka because itakuchomea. Utakuwa unapata mashows kwingine cause guys
But you can't separate the two. You cannot separate the artist and the art.
I couldn't talk about
you cannot separate the artist and the art at all.
I was staying in Madara. So I was talking about what nilikuwa napitia, what naona, which was actually in Indiana now. Place Nico.
And that's how I feel like that's how you get to like a good round performance is if it comes from a place of the heart, from a place within. So let's talk about DyverseCity festivals. What is DyverseCity festivals?
DyverseCity festival was born from an idea.
Same as Mentalist Hub?
Sure. Mentalist Poets, Artist Hub, all these were born from idea of hunger. We were hungry for success, we were hungry for identity, we had lazima tungejulikana by any means necessary.
You were going to knock down all those doors.
We had to go hard. Mwana vile Juliani alipeleka sheng boardroom. Sasa ni hivyo sasa.
Na kuchange. Na kujapa na sheng yangu by the guys and you'll give me this money.
Pitch na sell and it worked for him. So DyverseCity was an idea that nilikuwa nimekana flow flani. I don't know if
Yes, definitely.
The best beatboxer in the world. So tulikuwa tumekana mimi nikamwambia niaje mjama. Sasa le poets wakienda kuperform, mimi nikienda kuchapa show na kwa natafuta mswa wa guitar. Ile time tunaenda kuchapa show ndo natafuta mswa wa guitar. Na nikichapa hiyo show, mswa wa guitar atakumbuka. Yaani hakuna mswa atakumbuka mswa wa guitar. Atakumbuka Poeta aliwa show. But mswa wa guitar ule alifanya show ikakuwa imeweza, anakoga behind the scenes. So mimi nikamwambia man, nataka tukue na identity where each and every artist represented. If you're a beatboxer, unakuja pale kupiga show kama beatboxer. Si ati nachapa show beatboxer si kama uniongeze utamu kwa show unaona. Alafu
anasaulika.
Anakoga kuongeza like utamu. Mtu instrumental ni mtu wa kuongeza utamu. So nikakama up na idea we want to give each and every person their identity. So nikambia flow fulani wewe utakuwa the beatboxer, unachapa set yako. Mimi kama poet nachapa set yangu. Musician akikam set yake. So everyone with their own sets. And that's how we came up with the DyverseCity.
Hence the name DyverseCity.
So it's Diverse and City. So city is Nairobi and then tuna paint the city with our verses. So
that's beautiful. So that's amazing. Artist Hub is the same?
Artist Hub is the same but not yet because Artist Hub sasa pia it came from a point of pain where we wanted to give East London an identity. Because everyone ukisikia poetry ulikuwa unajua lazima ikuwe Uptown. So sisi tunatoka Mathare tukienda Uptown. But hakuna mtu anatoka Uptown na kuja Mathare. And hakuna mtu alikuwa na dare kuweka show poetry Mathare ya Eastlands. So I was like man no hapana. We are doing this and you're bringing it to the Eastlands people. Wao pia wajue. Because unacheki poetry, ukiongea kuhusu wewe ni poet, msana anaweza kuresonate na high school with the poetry.
True, yeah, choral verse na mashairi.
Stuff zako joy, this stuff zako boring manze. Yeah. So people resonate with that. So tukaipeleka Islando and then guys wakaanza kunice nayo. Like, ala kumbe kuna vitu zinaitwa punchline and all that. So Arteast was born from a pain of we wanted to have an Eastlands identity. Watu wakuje pia enjoy art Islando. So it happened from 2014 to now, and we have housed so many artists. So many artists have grown, and we have done so many partnerships, which I'm so proud that I never gave up on that journey. Yeah, to team up na kina Ronnie Prince and other artists. Kina Brigadier General, and they gave in their input, and sasa pia niko sure mahali wako, they are so proud that we came up with a niche and it worked. Yeah.
I feel like both everything that you have started out was to give a voice to the voiceless, sort of to say voiceless in the artist industry.
That is true, because another thing that was challenging us, tulikuwa tunachapa mashow but tunapata kuna wale artists wanajulikanaga tu, but nyinyi mnajaribu kufanya all your best, hakuna mse ana recognize.
I think it's actually still somehow still like that right now. I think there's still a bit of that right now in terms of the names that are more known are given more and better opportunities versus like the people who are still coming up. Actually, let me get into your podcast now. In terms of that, do you feel like you're in terms of poets, artists who start out anything new, do you feel like people who have been doing the same thing and are more popularly known will get more traction on this new thing they're starting versus an underground person who's not known? For example, now with a podcast, let me just use the example of the podcast. We are poets, and there's other poets bigger around the world. But if they start podcasts like we have done, they will get more and quicker traction than we would. Do you think it comes from the same place of bigger artists getting a bigger stage versus underground upcoming artists?
What I can say about that is Corona may humble everyone. Got a big artist saijo tunapatana kwa streets. We are struggling, we are hustling the same level. And at times I thank Corona because kulikuwa na history there are the big fish and the small fish in the same ocean, the same swimming pools, and we are trying to fight for the same air and the same water. And all I can say is inafika point kwa usanii, inafika point kwa hii life, and it's not about who's the bigger picture or who's the bigger person in the room. It's about what are you offering. And for me, when I'm doing my podcast, I'm not doing it because maybe niko na jina manini. I'm doing it because I'm an artist. I'm a true artist. Like everything nafanya inakuwa ni true. Hakuna tilet zenye nimeingia usanii kutafuta bread. Natafuta bread ndio na secure the bag, but I'm looking at it like I've been in the industry from 2014. You know, I've been doing things. Mtu ule anakuangalia 2014 na sasa anataka kuona growth. You know, you've been talking about transforming the society, transforming minds, transforming mindsets. What are you doing about it? Ama nyinyi mnakuwa tu poets wale mnaingia kwa stage, ni punchline. Hype mnaongelea kuhusu street, is this street so suffer, but you're not doing things to bring change. So for me as a podcaster, as a podcaster, I'm actually now elevating my art. Nimekuwa na do my lines na bamba wase wana snap. Now how can I take that to the next level ile? I'm talking about how can we talk about this topic? How can we talk about, because my podcast is about lifestyle, motivation, business and talent. How can you talk about an artist who is struggling? Tunawezaje msaidia in terms of giving information where you can be an artist, an entrepreneur artist. Because when you are kama ni artist lazima bado ukule, and you have to package your work for it to appeal to the corporates or appeal to the customers who will buy your art. So basically I've just taken my poetry to another level where now I'm giving out information that is packaged. It's not about just now entertainment. It's edutainment, and also there is the entrepreneurship part of it, where I've done so much in the past years. Now I've packaged my art as an entrepreneur.
I think it's also very important for other poets out there to understand that you can do way more with your poetry other than standing in front of a camera or in front of a stage before people, and that's where your poetry begins and ends.
Because right now there are no shows, and the only thing mtu anaweza fanya mi kani poet, I'll humble myself na nirudi kwanza kufanya mjengo, because lazima ni survive. Hakuna show utaenda kuperformia nani. So unaangalia art yako in different dimensions, the 3D dimensions, where how can my lines still work in different ways,
still make the impact.
These films are written by poets, writers who are poets. These the films, the voiceovers, isn't a program, a soap opera, it's poetry. But what unaangalia poetry in that level, what bado unaangalia poetry in the high school level, ile poetry ilikuwa inabo. But unaangalia ile mistari unakuwa unatoa kwa an actor fulani, it's poems. Their lyrics ile msame kachini aka creatively twist ananazieka hapo. So
actually lines are just poetry. Whatever lines in anything, even the law is poetry, the constitution is poetry. It's all just poetry. So let's talk about your hobbies. So when you're not busy giving a voice to the voiceless, what does Poeta do?
Hey, Poeta is a jack of all trades.
Because are they all in art?
So basically unataka nijianike nini?
Basically choma.
Acha niseme. Kile wasa wajui about me is I'm a certified counselor.
Oh wow, okay.
So basically mida ule mse usikia mashida za wase. Sisi sina mashida, niko na zangu pia. But musikia shida za wase, and then we get to an equilibrium where
I actually read somewhere you started working at you worked at a VCT center one time, and then now you graduated to tell us about that.
My journey is amazing. I actually at times nakanga hivi chini and I thank myself for not giving up. I started off hustling as a receptionist. Ile tu unakanga kwa nje ya VCT wendo kuita. Say karibu uje hali yako karibu
Unalipwa
unalipwa 300 unaangalia job na chick job John Gori. When msoa kuingisha wase. So kuna madaktari ndani but unaingisha tu watu. You get your 300.
You're like the invisible person there.
Wewe unajulikana tu uko nje but uko ndani hata hujui kile happened. And then you grow. I went to school, learned, and then nikasema hii kazi nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya mtu wa mkono, narudi tena as a different person. I went to school. Thanks to Boni Mwangi. Sitasema vile Boni Mwangi alinisaidia kwenda shule, but Boni Mwangi and my big sister, they really contributed to me going to school. It's a funny story, but
thank you Boni and Poeta's sister.
Boni Mwangi, big up.
Thank you.
Big up that guy. I went to school, came back, nikakuwa like certified. Now I'm a certified counselor. I can do the thing. And it has really opened doors for me. Nimekuwa na wako kambani. Kuna time sani si kuacha usanii, but I took a break from art because now even work was demanding. But hata nikifanya kazi ukambani, it was talking to people. You see the way you talk to people about your poetry and your poetry in a relate na mtu. That is now what I took and just nikaiwekea some medical touch.
So they like influenced each other. That's beautiful.
It's like, imagine it was like marrying. So unaona vile jani inakuaga. It's very funny by the way. Na nilikuwa najiangalia nafikiria mtu akiniangalia naona huyu ni daktari yako na dread, but anasikia kile unasema. Anasikia,
once you start talking, everything else is forgotten.
So anakusikia and then unamsaidia to come up with their own solutions, because as counselors we don't give solutions. We just facilitate. We normally believe you have the solutions by yourself. That's how we how to go about them. So we facilitate that. So I was taking my art.
You're like a bridge. Okay.
I was taking my art to that level. So I did that, and I've been working with Hope Worldwide, National Organization of Peer Educators. Big up to Philip. And all niko nafanyia kazi na bado unapata at the end of it inakurudisha kwa
poetry.
In poetry,
that's amazing. Like the way they synchronized each other.
You're
that's
always talking.
Amazing.
I'm always talking, and it's always a journey of talking to people, having conversations, and at least at the end of the day, kuna mtu umesaidia na yeye pia amekusaidia. When I talk about a certain topic with you, maybe kitu inakustress na tumeongea na wewe, utakuwa na solution at the end of the day, and utakuwa umenisaidia because I'll be looking at life in different perspective.
That's amazing. That's incredible. All right, and finally, what are the inspirations behind your poetry? When you write poetry, when you perform poetry, what is the thinking process? What inspires it?
My thinking process is, how can this poem or how can this verse be listened to in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years?
Oh wow, okay.
And that's unapata kuna lines niliandika 2016 ile utasikia sahi because I travel to the future, come to the past, and stay in the present. And you are always a teleporting kind of artist.
Yeah, your time is not fixed. Okay.
Because nikiandika line kuhusu maybe wala salingia kwa club na hizo vita za pale bila watu walikuwa na kunywa maji ili baki waanza kugwarana. And then naangalia like 2025 ndio atakuwa amezaliwa atakuwa nakumbuka gwarana ni.
Wow.
So it was just a punchline for that time.
Yes.
But this can be a punchline for 2025 child ule amezaliwa hiyo time. So I always think ahead, come back, and then stay in the present. So ni poem in a travel.
So you're inspired by your own works. That's incredible.
Basically, it's that ile design. I want my legacy to be remembered 10 years to come. Uni msalikuwa hii time, but alikuwa anaongelea kitu ina happen hata hajaiona. So it's just looking at the dynamics, the algorithms, and then you know how to go about them.
Okay, that's incredible. So most poets are inspired by music. So outside yourself, what other inspirations inspire your writing and your poetry?
Hip hop. I come from a background of hip hop.
Yeah.
Reggae. And soul.
Oh wow.
And kona grow na chika kina Whitney. So you're like wow. So unaangalia like somebody like Whitney alikuwa anaandika ngoma anaongea about love. Na ile ngoma alikuwa anaandika in 1980s. Say imagine wewe uko 2021 na bado una resonate.
Yeah, bado ina slap by the way.
Travel to. It's about traveling to the future and then coming back. So you get like your art becomes timeless.
Yeah.
Vile wizi 5-8 anasema kuna timeless music na timeless.
Nice.
So yeah.
Okay, so finally, could you give a word of encouragement to other poets, other artists out there? What can Poeta, the counselor, encourage and advise upcoming artists especially?
Don't go with the wave, man. Don't go with the wave, because when you're starting, you always have that temptation of going with the wave. You always want to fit in. Kuna kukua outstanding and standing out. Do you want to be outstanding and still stand out? Or you want to be the inside man? Ile way it feels familiar. You want to go with what feels familiar. Imagine you can start your own sound. You can take your own path, and it will take time. Kukua unique always takes time, but eventually it pays. Rather than kuingia mali unaona it feels familiar, it feels safe, and then well compared with the other people. Hakuna kitu insulting like mtu anataka compare life yake na other people. It's very insulting to yourself. So be yourself, take time. In be watu wanakuaga nayo inakuaga si poa, because if you're doing it for the wrong purpose, eventually it catches up with you.
I am JJ and I approve of this message. Thank you so much for joining us, Poeta. I hope I will get to visit your podcast because I'd love to be on the podcast. What's the name of the podcast?
Unedited Voices.
Guys, check out Unedited Voices on Google and Anchor, Spotify. Yeah? Yeah.
Everywhere.
All right, and now we'll get to enjoy a performance from Poeta himself.
Capital. Jomoko luonge ni kwan. Nigeria tulonge gani moni. Besha. Otonglo. Joluo tuwang'io luonge ni pesa. Pesa otas. Obiro in coins. Naira. Pesos. Rupee. Gi dollars. Kika wuondi. Joma tiyo gi rieko kata joma tiyo gi pachgi ema yude. Kichio to imanye, kinindo to podi penjri kaka kinyi boyude. Jomoko to nikode mang'eny. Jomoko to manye. Moko to onge gago. Moko winji ka winja ni ji nigi pesa. Jomoko to paid onge gago. At all. And that is fine. Hey, pesa tax. Yawa pesa meet. Pesa meet to rach kikiatiyogo. Pesa nino mi Judas mondo dhogo Yesu. Pinyi nino nyuoli nono. Ngima omiyi nono. To kidwa dak ngima maber, nyaka imany pesa. To ok mana pesa wuonyo, pesa otach. To litndi kitho to iki kaka nidonjo e pinyni. Ayawa, ngima ni tek. Nitie joma manye, to nitie joma nigi ohala makelo pesa. Moko to nitie gi ohala makelo pesa mathoth. Yawa, giwachoga ni ti gi pesa mondo pesa ong'i kodi. Nitiere joma gomba pesa, to kinyise ni oti, omany pesa, okodwa. Nyap ka gimoro nono. Yawa wamany pesa. Ngima ni bobedo matek ka idhier. Yaye pesa. Marundo wa e Nairobi kae. Nyocha atero nyako e date. Anyiewo sup gi kuon. Ento agone order mar orenge gi chips. Yawa kanye kaka nafwenyo ni gibet ng'ama real en gima very dangerous. Okona ni poeta in fine di. Nyathi jomoko, nyathi jagem yala in fine iler. Lakini ka yonge pesa, to onge mbaka mwanya gold. Nokona ni love slaps very differently ka kwanti e mpesa, e bank, e ofuko. Lakini ofuko motuch. Ofuko motuch to ok deserve nyako mayom kapamba ka en. Omiyo dichuo, wamany pesa. Pesa otas, otonglo. Pesa en kaka pi, olre ga ola. En kaka nyo machodre ga choda to rumo. Omiyo nyaka iti gi pesa maber. Nikech kawuono inya bet gi milion achiel, kiny to idong' gi siling. What a bad feeling. To kanye kaka rumo. Maen en wach pesa otas. Poeta. Yes. So my name is Poeta and I'm coming up with a different album you guys have never heard. It will be crazy. I know you guys will never understand what I'll be saying, but I hope you get the feeling. The album is called Joka Joke and it will be a mixture of Luo and Kikuyu and other languages, Sudan and everything. But I hope you fall in love with the art. I hope you fall in love with the feeling. Yeah, I'm Poeta, a podcaster. Thank you, JJ, for hosting me. Arteast Shairi, Buddha, mshike tisho your design, sindio? I'll see you. Kabut. Yeah. Salute. Hey, shukran sana.